Hi, Dove here, and today we have a new episode in the Art Review series. And today we'll be checking out the work of Max Grecke or Greg, based in Sweden. And they do use Photoshop and a Cintiq, 24 inches, pretty big. And I think this is a Gumroad link, so check it out. I will link this page, by the way, in the description below. So there you go. So just looking at their work portfolio feed here on Instagram, they do have a wide variety of styles. It kind of reminds me of another artist. Excuse me, another artist named Raul Moreno Coslado. I did a review of his work, a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, I just like the diversity, right? Like obviously this one is a bit more painted, not a bit, definitely way more painted. Let me just open this in a new tab. So there you go. But for example, for this guy, this pumpkin person thing, there is some ink or line work. But for this sort of line work, it's actually a bit more dynamic, meaning the thickness does vary quite a bit. It's a very different kind of line work from, say, this one, or maybe this one. I'll open this guy. And this one too. Well, I think it's the same. I'm guessing this one just feels more thicker for some reason. And I feel like for both of these illustrations, the line work is way thinner. Or maybe it's because the image is that big, right? But I think they're using like a very simple sort of round brush to do this. It reminds me a little bit of the work of Kim Jacinto, I think is a comic book artist. I also did an art review of his work, I think a month ago. Who knows? But yeah, I do like it. Um, so like dynamic, and you'll notice a lot of his shapes are super. Oh, okay, so this is him super exaggerated. Um, and just very experimental. I feel like he has a wide range. I do like the one punch man, sort of animated, not animated, but a more painted 3D look of the anime character. I know the anime is based on a manga, but it's just so interesting. It's even if it's a shot like this, I'm guessing this is Mario. Like it's a single shot. You're focusing on just the face. It seems attractive. Like there's some kind of subtle narrative that's going on. Because there are artists out there who have like the whole same face syndrome thing where the expressions are all the same. But I mean, it's not bad because it's usually women and they're all like pretty. So, I mean, that's good. But the contrast to that is, I guess, the work of Max here, where there's a bit more or way more expression, right? Even if it's super subtle, like there's always something there to sort of see, or like each drawing or image, art piece has something to say. Looks like me, except a girl version. I'm not sure what the uck. I'm guessing it means suck. That's me just or luck. Who knows? Um, she is drooling, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. But you know me, kind of hot. Okay, let's move on. I'm having thoughts. I mean, right? Look at the range here. I'm thinking this is from I forgot where this is from. It's like a fighting game, maybe. That's my guess. But this one is definitely painted. You don't really see some line work here, but for this one, there is a little bit, but it's uh, it's the kind of artwork you would see in like Disney whenever they do their like Western animation style. I do like it. Um, Where even if the pose is simple, like the gesture is way more obvious. I feel like when it comes to Western animation, like drawings, they do emphasize simplifying, yeah, the forms, but there's way more curves, I think, than say in like Japanese animation or like manhwa or just the Eastern sort of stuff. And with that, the exaggeration too. I think they say a self-portrait of himself. Oh, I do see a little bit of a color dynamics. In this case, the hues or the values, um, or maybe this was done in color and then grayscale, or maybe it was completely done in grayscale. But look at how strong those shapes are, right? I think this is what people mean when they say stylized. I think Max here is a good example of stylized art. Um, because it's you do see a lot or way more exaggeration. I like this one. Yeah, he goes back and forth between like painted stuff and stuff that has like ink. Now this one, it feels like the line work is a bit more like black, but this guy, Pikachu, I think it's Pikachu. The line work is a bit like it blends with the colors. It has more of a brownish, reddish tint to it. Now this one, it's more like a, and I also feel like he can do editorial types. Oh wow, illustrations just because they have that same variety. Because I've mentioned this so many times in the channel, but when it comes to editorial artwork, they do tend to, or the artists in those space or in that space, they tend to have like a more interesting set of styles. Um, like that's sort of a trait of that industry. It's the variety. So I do think Max can sort of jump into that world or field as well. Um, for example, this one definitely is very editorial esque. Like you would see this in some kind of article or fashion magazine. Like a lot of his work is so publishable. Like it could be like a cover for a book or a magazine, like an article sort of image, editorial art, right? Concept art even, or just general illustration stuff. Like it's so. I mean, this one is more like flatly done, like cell shaded almost, but this one is completely like painted. Like you would see this in like VizDev, maybe visual development. By the way, I'm drinking coffee, Copico Blanca. For those of you who are fans of the brand, I love it. Um, yeah. And for his brushwork, he's not really into brush variety too much. He likes to keep it somewhat clean. It means a lot of his paintings, or even the flat stuff, very smooth, very smooth. Some gradients maybe here and there, um, but it's generally more polished looking. Kind of like a splash art. If you look at any games, like the way they do the splash art, even though it's so like crazy, even if the shot or the scene itself is so wild and just full of stuff, the rendering is usually kept sort of like think League of Legends. I think first of all I don't game, but those types of games, if you look at their artwork or the artwork associated with those games, they tend to be a lot more cleaner, more smooth. Look at this guy, a freaking Chad. Look at the broad shoulders, thin waist. Wow. And yeah, I guess the silhouette too of the subjects very strong, very strong. Like it's just impactful. Like it's almost impossible to not look at it. This one, I'm not sure if it's from somewhere, but wait. Those bumps in the shoulder plates or armor, they're kinda sus. Or maybe I'm just too gooned out at this point that oh, this one's nice. This one feels more like oh, another artist to mention. I've mentioned a couple, Raul Moreno, Coslado, Jacinto. This one reminds me a little bit of the work of ooh, Ramon Nunez. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Nunez? Ramon Nunez. Just because a lot of his work has these sorts of narrative shots. Um, although he's a bit more sketchy with the lines, like showing off the more rougher line works or sketch lines. When Max does his inks or his line work like this, it reminds me a lot of again Kim Jacinto. Very clean, but there's like a solid um smooth. It's clean, it's smooth, but there's a variety to it. Like it goes from thin to thick. Like it's not boring to look at, even if the line work itself doesn't have like grit or texture. It's very continuous. It just has that um sleek. Is that a word? Sleek word to it or sleek vibe to it. I'm not sure if these women are wearing masks or even this guy, or if they're wearing masks or if that's their actual like head, but they're very hot. Um, Tattoos, pretty cool. Oh, reminds me a little bit of the shirt of 2B from the game. Um, she has this sort of triangle thing, very, and even her shoulders. I'm not sure if this is her actual like shoulder or if it's some kind of padding. Oh shit, I think maybe it's her shoulder, but Max's style is a bit exaggerated show, so he did make it a bit more like angular, I guess. Excuse me. Oh, I do see a bit of a blur in the edges. Is there an RGB shift? It's hard to say, but yeah. Ghost Rider, I'm assuming. For these ones, they're way more painted, right? And just the way he simplifies the anatomy. I mean, this one's pretty freaking weird, but oh, it's from the. I've seen the guy, this elf guy with the green sort of Zelda. No idea. Um, but yeah, look at them toes. Anyway. Oh wait, let me see if this is a process video of his. Okay. Oh shit. But you'll notice in the very beginning, everything has already been figured out, line work wise, and then the magic happens even more so when he renders the whole thing. The grayscale, and then color, and then the adjustments, maybe through some adjustment layers, like gradient maps or something. So good drawing, grayscale, and then a quick sort of basic color pass, and then you add like the I don't know the color grading maybe or something, and then the final touches in the end. Pretty cool. Uh, and again, for some pieces, he will remove that line work eventually, but I'm guessing it does start out that way. But even I've seen this guy before, like this specific post. I saw this like this is often repinned on Pinterest. Or maybe this is the piece that got me into the. I don't know. I don't think so. I think I found Max's work on Instagram by accident. Um, Meaning the algorithm suggested it to me. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, wow. He has quite a bit of a harem going. Come on. Now here you can see he did still keep the line work. It does have a reddish tint to it, or a brownish tint, warmer sort of temperature to go along with the colors of the skin here. Even the whole like scene or shot is on the warmer side. But yeah, look at the way it's colored. I don't see much texture. I do see maybe a bit of a noise texture, but I think it's added in the end. Just something to sort of tie everything together. But when they do add these paints, mainly cell shaded, the brushes themselves are very like solid. And there's also a little bit of a gradient that happens. Like here it gets red, gets more like peachy here, and then it gets more red again. So I'm guessing they're doing that in a different layer, in a clipping, or a clipping layer. So there's like a subtle change in saturation, in hue, in tone, in value. It's a good fit. Oh, I even love these reflective sort of effects here. I'm guessing that's part of her dress or something, or accessories. But look at how the shapes are pretty strong. Even the hands are kind of angular, very sort of blocky. Reminds me of some of the anatomy of, for those of you who've seen the Disney movie Atlantis, most of their characters are drawn this way, where it's a bit sharper, more angular. Even the women, my two favorite ones would have to be, I forgot both of their names, but the first one is the blonde one, who's kind of a dom mommy. Well, actually, both of them are dominant. Like they're both strong women, right? But yeah, anyway, the first one is the blonde one with the red lipstick, with questionable character. And the other one is the main, I think, chick who's paired up with Milo, the actual Atlantean like princess or something, with the one with the white hair. If you look at the way their anatomy is drawn, very strong. I mean, yeah, there's still like a lot of curves there. Obviously, they're women, and they're like the main sort of yep. But there is a bit of an angular touch to it, and I like seeing that because not everything has to be so curvy to make it feminine. You can make angular stuff look feminine as well. Oh shit! Look at this chick. I'm not sure if it's fan art. I like it. And again, it's so publishable, very finished looking. Oh, I do see some blurs around the edges. Like it looks like a shot from an animated show from like Cartoon Network or Adult Swim or something. In one of those like shows. It's so sexy. Is this the Barbie guy? Oh, I love the shadows. They're purple. Ooh, very interesting. This one's a bit too obvious. Oh, that, I don't get why people do this. I mean, you do you, but to me that looks painful as hell. Like, what if someone snatches it away? You know what I mean? Um. Oh. Oh my. Oh, another artist. I'm gonna write his name. I do have like a second monitor, so that's why sometimes like, I mean, you can't see me, but I do look away. Otto Schmidt. He's a comic Schmidt. I forgot how to spell his name. Schmidt something. Mid. SCHMIDT. Hopefully, I'm saying the last name right. The Otto has two T's. OTTO. If you look at the way he does the faces, Otto Schmidt, it reminds me a little bit of, or the work of Max reminds me a little bit of the work of Otto Schmidt. Like, especially, I think this one triggered this, or that sort of thought. Because whenever Otto does his like eyes, they tend to have this like they're usually bigger, rounder, but Everything else is like angular, right? Even if they're women, angular, like proportions or like silhouettes or shapes. Wait, let me open this in a new tab. So I'm not sure where she's from, but I do see some like stitches. Maybe she's some kind of zombie mommy, right? Frankenstein sort of vibe. Oh, I love the hair. Very frizzy. Just looks so dominant, you know, and I just, I like it. And the balance of, do you see these like clavicle lines, this like neck lines, and some line work in like the nose and the mouth? Like it's not everywhere. It's not the kind of line work where it's literally in every single thing. It's sort of in certain specific spots. Some are darker. For example, for this line, it's way lighter. So the variety is in its existence, meaning it's not everywhere. Some parts have lines, some parts don't have lines. The second variety is its value, meaning some parts are, or some of these lines that do exist, they're going to be darker, and some are going to be like way lighter, where it just seems to just blend into the skin. Kind of like this line, a little bit of this line, like this line, you know? Pretty cool. I do like this one, this kind of style, maybe the most from his work, because it has a little bit of everything, you know, a bit of line work, a bit of like that painting sort of vibe. Pretty cool. Cool tiger. Interesting. He's hot. Um, oh my. I actually thought that this was something in the. Like, you know what I'm thinking when I saw this. Very interesting. I mean, even the way they're able to like really push the facial expressions this way and to render it in this level, pretty cool. Um, like it's stylized. It has a bit of realism, but it's definitely the proportions are really stylized. Oh, this one's kind of cool too. Wait, I think I saw like an octopus woman somewhere. Oh, this one. Ooh. I think I did an art review recently of HB something like Hard Bears, maybe the name is. And they had one piece where I think it's a she, the character cut off the head of a snake or something. So kind of reminded me of that image or artwork as well. But in this case, they're centipedes. Ooh. Definitely more inks, more comic-ish, manga-ish. Yes, I guess that's it for this art review of Max Grecke or Grecke. I will link this page in the description below. That's him again. And I'll see you in the One Piece. In the. Oh, wow. Ooh, kinky. You like this? And it's a freaking octopus or a bunch of tentacles. Like, even this sketch, it just looks so efficient and very fluid at the same time. It has a bit of that line work, has a bit of that painting in it, right? And it's all like in grayscale, no color even. It's so like, well, oh, this like nice gradient from dark to light over here. Same thing with the hair, dark to light. Pretty cool. Am I? Do I like this? I do like it. Imagine. Imagine. Tentacles. Anyway, let's stop. So that's it for this review. I will link this page again in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.